Yeah? Okay, going live isn't as easy as it might sound. Thanks for joining me this evening. Apologies for the second time I've said this. So this evening's class is a gentle yoga flow. So if you want to keep on a hoodie or socks or something, I'm only not, because I don't want to mess with my mic. So let yourself wear something comfortable. We're going to be moving quite slowly, working into some nice stretchy full body stretches. So when you're ready and you've got your dogs settled next to you, come to a comfortable seated shape. So start with your right shin in front, just because it's going to work so that we can do the same sides together. Finding that nice firm grounding through your sit bones. Think about lifting your chest up and out of your hips. Your shoulders can then roll down and back so that your chest feels nice and broad. Your neck feels nice and long, and the chin is slightly floating up away from the chest. Your hands rest comfortably either into your lap or out onto your legs, somewhere where the arms can relax, where the shoulders can drop down away from the ears, and you can just allow your body to feel still and settled here. Trying to find complete stillness throughout the body, resisting any temptations and urges to fidget, to rearrange. Just allow yourself to settle, noticing the only movements left being the rise and fall of your chest and the soft in and out of the belly. Allow that breath to start to grow in both its length and its depth. So as you're breathing in, you're feeling that extra space within your chest. And as you're breathing out, you're finding that softness again, but maintaining your posture, maintaining your shape. Allowing your inhales to give you a sense of lightness, of lift. And your exhales to allow you to remain calm and soft. And trying to use those two ideas through the rest of the practice. So with your next inhale, let your arms circle wide, reaching them high to the sky, the head to drop back so the chin is lifting to the sky as well. As you exhale, lower your hands down through your center, all the way towards your belly, your chin to come towards your chest as you lengthen out the back of the neck. Same again, breathing in, circle the arms wide, reaching them high, lengthen the sides of the body. Breathing out to lower those hands all the way to the belly, chin drops down towards the chest, and then keeping your chin down here, just release your hands back into your lap and allow that drop of the chin to be a little bit stronger. So really starting to pull the chin down towards the chest so you can feel the length in the back of the neck. Using an inhale, send that chin back to the sky. Think of taking a deep breath into the front of the very top of your chest, right underneath your collarbones. And the breath out, let the chin come all the way back down, once again finding that stretch in the back of the neck. From there, allowing your chin to roll towards the left, so left ear towards left shoulder, but keep that shoulder drawing down away from your ear. And then the chin rolls back towards the chest, and then right ear rolls towards right shoulder, feeling that stretch and length in the left side. Good. Allow yourself to move gently and slowly from one side until the other. And just allow yourself to pause or to hold at any points where you're feeling a nice juicy stretch that your body wants to remain into. And then finally, drawing yourself back to center, allowing your chin to lift back away from your chest, that you're sat nice and tall. Perhaps opening the eyes if they're not open just yet. So your next breath in, the arms circle wide, reaching them high to the sky. This time the left hand to come out onto the floor next to you. Take a lean out towards that hand as you side body stretch, finding length in the right side. Allow that shoulder to roll back so your gaze is going under the arm. You're thinking of rotating your chest to face the sky, making sure that right sit bone stays firmly down against the floor. Each breath in lets you find a little bit more length in that right side. Breathing out to remain soft across the face, into the hands, into the legs. And then take another deep breath in. And And then as you exhale, the right leg, which is the one that should be in front, you're going to kick out off the side of your mat, swooping the body down. Let your hands come to rest in front of your shins. So this right leg reaching off to one side, try to keep it a little bit active so it's not too lazy. And the toes are pulling up towards the sky and the back of the thigh pushes down towards the mat. You're trying to keep that space that you've created within your chest as a little lift. And if you want to target this hamstring stretch a little more, if perhaps that's something you're enjoying, you can walk your hands a little closer towards your foot. So you're going more out towards the right side of your mat. Focusing on that breath that we started with, a deep breath in, feel your ribs expand. A slow breath out, allow yourself to soften. Good, just one more here, breathing in. And then breathing out, first walk the hands back in, then pull the leg in and switch the cross of the leg. So now your left shin will be the one in front for your cross-legged seat. Your next breath in, circle the arms wide. Think of lifting your rib cage to the sky. Exhale, the right hand comes to place onto the floor next to you, reaching those fingertips up and over, ground down through the left sit bone, and then rolling the chest and the gaze to face towards the sky. Think of looking underneath that left armpit. Each breath in lets you feel like your ribs on this left side are growing away from one another. Your exhales to keep finding softness and calm within the brain and the body. Good, breathing in. And then kick that leg off to one side, off the side of the mat. Exhale, swoop the body down. Hands can either come straight out in front of you onto the mat, or again, if you want to take it that little bit further into your hamstring, your hands walk across towards your left foot. We're trying to find length in the lower spine here. So each time we're breathing in, try to feel like you're pulling your belly up and out of the bowl of your pelvis. Your exhale to keep allowing your body weight to tip a little bit forwards, out towards either the front of your mat or out towards your toes. Good, breathing in. And then breathing out. The hands walk all the way in. Draw that left leg in, and then you can either swing your legs around or perhaps rolling over your knees to bring yourself into a tabletop position. So shoulders stack over the wrists, hips stack on top of the knees, and the knees are hip distance apart, drawing the belly gently up towards the spine for an engaged core. On your next breath in, let your ribs push down to the mat, lift your chest to look forward, sit bones push to the sky. As you exhale, rounding the spine, shoulder blades are broad, chin pulls to the chest and the tailbone tucks under. Reversing, same again, ribs go down, chest lifts, shoulder blades draw together, breathing into the front of the body. Breathing out to round, strong press into the arms as you think of pushing your spine to the sky. Good, again to breathe in. And to breathe out. Let's do one more of each here. Inhale, pressing the sit bones tall, scoop the chest forwards. And breathing out, rounding, hollowing, pushing. And then drawing yourself back to a flat spine. Keeping your left hand onto the floor, maybe just bring it a little bit more centrally underneath your nose. With your right arm, as you breathe in, send the hand to the sky and think of turning your gaze and your chest towards that hand. As you exhale, you're going to thread that arm underneath the left armpit. The palm stays facing the sky, resting down onto the side of the shoulder, side of the head, so that you're gazing out towards that right hand. Your left hand, you can either stay here, leave it there in front of your face, or walk it forwards, out towards the top of the mat, so the left side of the body finds a little extra length. A nice twist into the thoracic spine. Think of your chest trying to turn towards that hand out in front of your gaze. Some nice deep breaths all the way down towards the belly, where you can feel there's physically less space to expand into. And breathing out. Now, you might want to stay here for your last couple of breaths, or you can take your left leg, extend it out onto the mat behind you, and then sweep it out all the way to one side, out towards your hand. I'm going to show you on the other side so that you can see from the side of the camera. So sweeping that foot wide, trying to plant down through the little toe edge of the foot, keeping that arm extended to the top of the mat, and you should feel that into the inner thigh of your left leg, and it's just an option. You can leave the knees down as they were and take your final couple of breaths here. Deep breath in. And then breathing out, draw that left hand back in front of your face. You can unthread, drawing yourself back round towards tabletop. If that left leg is still stuck out, great, leave it there. Otherwise, everyone else, take that left leg out off the mat. The toes are pointing towards the front of the mat, and the ankle is in line with the knee. Left hand is going to rest out onto that thigh, and as you breathe in, reach your right arm up towards the ceiling. And as you breathe out, a little lean out towards that left leg. Think of grounding into the little toe edge and push your hips lightly forward. So trying to not push your bum too far back as though you're sitting back into a little chair. Roll your chest again to face that sky and breathing into that right rib cage. Lovely. Take a deep breath in. Keep those fingertips reaching up and over. And then as you breathe out, the right hand is going to place off the other side of the mat, keeping it in line with the knee. Make sure you've got about a torso's distance between your wrist and your knee, so you've got space for your chest. And then inhale, left arm to go to the sky and your gaze to follow those fingertips. And then either staying with the hand directly into the sky, or if you want to make that upper body stretch that little bit more, take the arm alongside the ear. So you're reaching out onto that as far away from your crown of your head as you can. Think of the rib cage pushing up towards the sky and breathing steadily here. Great, one more to breathe in. And then breathing out. Walk your hands back to the front of the mat and bring both knees back together so you're back into tabletop. With your next inhale, the ribs go down to the mat, the chest lifts, looking forwards. And your exhale to round, hollowing the front of the belly out, pushing strongly through the arms. Bringing yourself back to neutral, and this time it's the right hand to step underneath the nose a little bit more centrally into your mat. Left hand, inhale, send it to the sky, turning, reaching tall. And then exhale, thread that arm underneath the shoulder. Palm to face the sky. Give yourself a moment to gently come down onto the side of the shoulder, the side of the head, as you gaze out towards that right hand. Your left hand. Your right hand can then walk to the top of the mat, all the way out to find a little bit of extra length in this right side of the torso. Feel like your body weight is lightly pouring backwards to help you find an extra stretch into the upper thoracic area on that left side. And as before, you're very welcome to stay here if you're enjoying it just as it is. Otherwise, your right leg, reach it out towards the back of the mat first, and then sweeping it wide out towards the right side of the room if you have space, hopefully at home. Press down through the outer edge of that foot and think of your hips pushing lightly backwards, so you're adding an extra stretch into this extended leg. A nice deep breath in, draw it all the way down to the belly. Breathing all the way out. And then last one, breathe in. As you breathe out, bring the right hand back, push your way back round towards your tabletop, and then walking your hands in so that you're stacked up tall. If you don't have the right leg out beside you already, kick it off the side of the mat, toes to point forwards, and the knee and the ankle to be on the same plane. Right hand goes out onto that thigh. Inhale, left arm to the ceiling. Exhale, a little lean towards that leg. You don't have to go far. You can find more length and more stretch in this side body by pulling the arm away from the torso than you can by forcing your leg further or forcing your arm further down the leg. Stay a little more upright, keep the tailbone tucked and the hips pushing forwards, and really focus your breath into that left side. Good, last one, breathe in. And then breathing out, draw yourself upright. The left hand comes off to the other side of the mat, all in one line, in line with that knee that you already have down. Use your breath in, right arm goes to the sky, staying with this variation, or reach the arm alongside your ear, drawing the arm nice and close to your head as your ribs push up towards the sky. Hips push a little forwards, chest rolls a little back. Last one, breathing in. And then breathing out. Draw your hand back to the mat. Walk yourself round, back into your tabletop, onto hands and knees, all fours. On your inhale, ribs drop to the mat, chest lifts, looking forwards. And as you exhale, rounding your spine as you tuck the tailbone. Great. Drawing yourself back to a straightened spine, lifting up onto the knees, and then stepping your right foot out in front of you. Staying in quite an upright lunge here, so lots of right angles with the legs, the torso to stay on top of this back knee. Keep a light tuck of the tailbone and a squeeze through your left glutes, your left bum muscles, to help keep your left hip flexor lengthening and opening here. You're going to take the arms, the forearms and the hands together, and the elbows to draw down towards the belly. So there's a nice rounding shape in the spine, chin pulls down towards the chest. Now, as you breathe in, open your arms like cactus arms. Lift your chest to face towards the sky and squeeze your shoulder blades together. On the exhale, the elbows come back together. They come towards your belly as your chin comes to your chest. Breathing in, expand the chest, open the arms, pinch the shoulder blades together. Breathing out to close off, a little rounding of the spine, broaden the shoulder blades. Inhale, opening. And exhale to close. And then last one. Inhale, open the arms wide, broaden across your chest, and holding here this time, keeping a nice upright torso, that tuck of the tailbone, and a light squeeze of those back glutes. As you inhale, keep those arms broad. And as you exhale, take a twist of the spine towards the right. So you're drawing the chest to face the right side of the room. The palms turn with you, and keep yourself as upright as you can. Use an exhale, come all the way back round to center. Keep those arms lifted here. One more, breathing in, twisting round. Breathing out, draw yourself back to center. Let your arms rest for a moment. Meant to be gentle, isn't it? That made my shoulders ache. Left hand down onto the floor, onto the inside of your foot. With a breath in, let your right arm reach to the sky. Taking a nice twist, and you can stay with this variation. Or if you're ramping it up a little, you can tuck those back toes and press the heel away from you so the back knee lifts away from the mat. Your choice. Keep allowing your chest to turn, taking big belly breaths. Last one, breathing in. And then breathing out. Draw your hand down, swipe your foot back, let your knees come together, your hips to go to your heels, and then let your belly rest onto your thighs, your arms alongside your body, and your chin to drop to your chest as your forehead rests onto the mat. I leave my forehead floating so that I'm not muffling through my mic. So a nice heavy body sinking down towards the legs, down towards the mat, and focusing some deep breaths into the back line of the body. Feel like you're making a bigger doming shape as you breathe in, and softening and sinking as you breathe out. And then rolling your spine all the way upright until you're on top of your shins, and then again drawing yourself nice and tall, and this time the left foot to step out in front of you into a boxy lunge, finding a tuck of the tailbone and a light engagement through your right glutes. The elbows, same as before, come together, down towards the belly, rounded spine, chin to the chest. Breathing in, lift the chest, lift the arms, broaden across the chest, open up. Breathing out to close, rounding, draw the elbows in. Inhale, opening. Exhale to close. Great, same again. Breathing in, keeping that tailbone tucked, back leg is working. Breathing out, closing off, broaden between your shoulder blades and puff out into that space. Last one, breathing in. Holding your open space here, so shoulder blades pinched together behind you, really lifting your chest towards the sky. Stay nice and tall through your torso, breathing in. And then as you breathe out, twisting to face the left side. Doesn't matter how far you go. If I find it much harder to turn in this direction, I don't get quite as far. Come all the way back round to face center. Keep those arms nice and wide. Last one, breathing in, twisting round. Pressing down through the rear foot against the mat. And then breathing out. Back to center. Right hand comes to the floor. And then inhale. Left arm goes to the sky. Taking a twist, the gaze towards the top fingertips, and same option as before. If you'd like to, you can tuck the back toe and push that back heel away from you. Keeping the hips nice and heavy, sinking down towards the mat, and strong through that right arm to push down against the floor to help your body twist. Last one here, breathing in. And then breathing out, drawing that hand down. Once again, swipe the foot back, knees to come together, hips to the heels, arms alongside the torso as you allow your rounded spine to drop you down towards the legs, forehead to rest to the floor. If it doesn't reach the floor, don't worry. As long as your neck is comfortable, let it dangle freely. A nice deep breath in and a slow breath out. Great, last one, breathing in and breathing out. And then with a rounded spine, roll yourself all the way back up so that you're sat up onto your shins. And then interlacing your hands behind you. If this shape doesn't work, either tuck your toes under or just take a different seated shape if it's too much for your ankles. Interlace your hands behind you. Use a breath in to draw the fist towards your feet. Puff your chest towards the sky and really squeeze those shoulder blades together. As you hold here, think of breathing all the way down into the belly, so expanding into the front of the body. Softly breathing out. And then one more, breathing in. As you breathe out, releasing the fist, let the shoulders roll back forwards. Maybe just tuck your chin to your chest to allow your body to counteract that pose. With your feet to stay together, tuck your toes under behind you. Push your weight back until your knees lift, and then let your heels find the floor as you lift your hips to the sky, keeping your knees bent so that your torso and your thigh are very close together. Allow your body to flop in front of your legs into a ragdoll fold. In ragdoll, the upper body is very floppy. The arms hang loosely. You can cross them if you prefer. The head hangs nice and heavy in front of the legs. You can take a few nods or shakes of the head if you wish to help your neck release. The weight is tipping a little bit forwards towards the toes, so the lightness that you then find in your heels allows you to keep lifting your hips towards the sky. You can stay stationary, or perhaps you like a nice sway through the torso. Imagine you're swinging like a pendulum from left to right. And then allow your hands to come back to find the floor. Walking your hands forwards, coming back down into tabletop, so let your knees drop down to the mat. Keep those toes tucked under behind you. We're coming into our first downward dog, so toes tuck, knees lift first, hips to the sky. Press those thighs backwards so you're finding that nice upside down V shape. If you feel that you're a little bit too close to your wrists, take a little step backwards. And remember, in our down dog, it's better to keep a soft bend into the knees and then push your sit bones high to the sky to find length in your spine than it is to force the legs straight and then round the spine. And it's obviously difficult when we can't see our own bodies, but trust me, most people keep a bend in those knees, prioritize your spine. A nice strong press into the hands to keep your armpits opening wide. And just allow your head to hang heavy. Take a few slow, controlled breaths here. Great, last one, breathe in. Using your breath out, the knees drop back down onto the mat. The hips are going to stay where they are on top of the knees. You can untuck the toes for comfort. Hands then walk away from you, out towards or beyond the top of the mat into puppy pose. Forehead to rest down onto the floor. And ideally we want just the palms and the forehead to be on the mat here, so the elbows and the forearms are lifted. But you're very welcome to rest those down as a modification if it feels too intense otherwise. The more narrow that your hands are, the more intense this will be into the upper body stretch, so you can widen them to make it a little bit softer. And we're thinking of sinking the chest down towards the mat, but also keeping a light press of the palms down against the floor to help the shoulders stay working here. Breathing in and breathing out. And then last one, inhale. Use your exhale. Walk those hands in bit by bit, nice and slowly to come out of that one. And then keeping your left knee into the center of the mat, so just step it a little more central. Your right knee to cross over behind, opening your feet wide towards the edges of the mat, squeeze your thighs together and then just push your sit bones back slightly. We're going to keep our hands where they are. So think of it as if you're trying to sink towards child's pose, but obviously we're not going anywhere near as far as we would be. As those thighs squeeze together, we're trying to find that opening feeling into the outer area of the hips, maybe slightly into the inner as well. Last one here, breathing in. And then breathing out, rock your weight back forwards, untangle the legs and switching sides. So right knee into the center, left knee crosses over the back and you're really squishing your thighs together there. Try to let no gap be between the legs. Widening the feet towards the edges of the mat and then sinking your hips back. This front knee, so it'll now be the right knee, can lift away from the floor. It doesn't have to stay down. Should have said that on the other side. Allow your weight to push back. That knee can lift as far away as it wishes. Keep trying to find length in the torso as you breathe in. Chest lengthens out towards your hands. Breathing out, keep sinking the body weight down towards the thighs. And then last one, breathing in. As you breathe out, drawing your body weight back up, untangle the legs and then simply sweep your feet off to one side, bringing them out in front of you so that you come into a seated shape. Sending your right leg out onto the mat, toes up towards the sky, bending your left leg and stepping the foot over the other side, keeping the whole sole of the foot grounded against the mat. Staying in this variation, or if you know otherwise and you've done the variation where you bend the bottom leg, then do feel free, but make sure both sit bones stay firmly onto the floor. Keep this knee nice and close to your chest. Sit yourself up nice and tall as you breathe in. And then place your left hand onto the floor behind you to start your twist to look over your left shoulder. You can stay holding the knee here or take this right arm to the outside of the thigh to give yourself something to sort of press against to give yourself a bigger twist here. Keeping that left sit bone firmly planted onto the floor. And using the left hand behind you to keep your body weight moving forward. So when trying to not lean back too much here, we're really allowing the top thigh and the belly to be as close to each other as they can. Breathing in, breathing out. And then last one to breathe in. As you breathe out, coming all the way back round to face center. This leg, let the knee now fall slightly away from you so the ankle is crossed over the thigh, and keep this left top foot flex, so toes pull back towards shins. We're going to lean backwards with our fingertips pointing towards the front of the mat, and so your torso is about a 45-degree angle. Now your right leg, you're going to bend
to place your foot onto the mat. So you've made this figure 4 shape. As you try to keep your chest nice and lifted, so your spine to stay straight, think of this left knee pushing away from you, so moving as far away from your left shoulder as you can. You should be feeling the stretch in your outer left hip, making sure your knee feels fine, and to intensify the stretch, you could walk your hands a little closer in towards your hips so that your chest comes closer towards your shins, or you could bring your base foot a little closer towards your bum, but make sure your bum stays down on the mat. Use your inhales to sit taller, lengthen. Your exhales to stay soft. Great, last one, breathing in. And then as you breathe out, let that right leg slide back away from you so that you can step the left leg forwards, and then we come to the other side. So bending your right knee, stepping that foot to the outside of the leg, keeping it roughly in line with the kneecap, doesn't need to be any higher up. Option to curl that bottom leg under, making sure both sit bones stay firmly against the mat. Holding on to the knee, squeeze it against the torso, sit tall. Exhale, right hand places behind you, so you're twisting, looking over that right shoulder, either staying, holding the leg as you are, or placing the outside of the arm to the outside of the thigh to help you twist a little deeper. If your left leg is still extended, try to keep thinking of pressing the back of the thigh down as if it was a bit of a hamstring stretch, keeping length and activity in there. And rooting your sit bones down as you twist, finding this stretch in the outer of the right hip around your glutes. And then last one, inhale. Using your exhale, come back round to face the centre. Let this right knee flop away from you. You can just readjust where your ankle rests onto your thigh. Flexing the foot, knee falls away. Leaning yourself back, you can either have fingertips forwards or backwards. I guess it doesn't matter, it's just wherever is most comfortable for you. Chest stays proud, and then bending that left knee, placing the foot onto the floor, and finding that long length in your spine as you push the right knee away from your body, finding that stretch in your outer right hip. If you wanted to, again, make things feel a little more intense, you can press this ankle against the thigh, so push them together. It makes things a little more sort of energetic within the pose because it's quite strenuous to keep pushing, but you should feel a much more intense stretch in your outer right hip as you do so if you're going for that this evening. Breathing in, broaden the chest. Breathing out, heavy through your hips. And then last one, breathing in. And breathing out, releasing that leg so that you can step your right leg off as well. And let both feet come onto the floor in front of you. Just make sure you have some space behind, so maybe scoot forwards, feet hip distance apart, arms to reach forwards out alongside your legs, and then slowly, with as much control as you can, descend yourself down onto your back, the shoulders and the back of the head to find the floor, and then just stepping your feet a little closer in towards your bum, so that when you reach your arms down alongside your torso, you want to just be able to feel the backs of your heels, but no more than that. Keeping your feet hip distance apart, I want you to focus on the entire sole of the foot staying down, pushing into the floor. With a breath in, as you push, lift your hips away from the mat as your pelvis rises towards the sky. With the space that you've created underneath you, you might be able to interlace your hands together, palm to palm, and then think of shuffling your shoulder blades towards each other underneath your chest. So your chest is left feeling nice and broad. You're pushing into the feet. The hips are not only lifting up, but the chest is thinking of pushing a little towards the chin as well. Focusing your breath right down into the front of the belly. Breathing out to stay nice and strong. Great, last one. Breathe in, keep pushing. And then releasing your hands first, make sure you don't squish your arms as you allow your spine to come back down to the floor. once you're there, your knees to have a nice hug in towards the body, giving yourself a little squeeze, thighs towards belly, heels in towards your bum. Maybe a soft little rock from left to right, feeling your lower back down against the floor. We're then going to we'll go with both to begin with. So place both feet back onto the floor. Doesn't particularly matter how far away from you they are. Draw your right knee in towards your chest and just interlace around the back of the thigh. So not the shin, around the back of the thigh. Squeeze your leg in nice and close. Now, if you have a strap and you know this stretch, you can do this stretch with a strap, but I know not many people do. So we're going to do a version without the strap. Our right hand is going to come on the inside of our thigh to hold either your big toe if you have bare feet, or you can hold the outside of your foot if you don't. Now, try not to prioritize straightening your leg, because that's really not what this is about. But as you exhale, push your heel towards the sky. This right shoulder is going to stay pinned down towards the floor, so try not to allow it to be dragged up and away. The heel is the thing that pushes up as the toes pull down towards the face. You should be feeling a hamstring stretch in the back of this right leg, and we're keeping the thigh nice and close to the belly. And regardless of how straight the leg is, if you want to, you can try extending your left leg out onto the mat. That will make the stretch more intense. But if you go to try and do that and that leg floats in midair, got nowhere to rest, you're much better off leaving it bent and focusing on pushing the heel to the sky. A few more breaths here. Try to allow your body to relax into it, to soften, and for that sort of stressful tension feeling in the back of the thigh just to ease off. Last one, breathing in. And then breathing out, letting it go. We'll come straight to the other side. So left leg, give it a little hug in first. Hold the back of the thigh, compress the leg towards the belly. Keeping the leg in this midline, so try not to allow your leg to fall out towards the left. Take your arm to the inside of your thigh to hold onto your big toe to the out of your foot. Again, if you're using a strap and you know how to use that, then please go ahead. Keep your left shoulder pinned down. Exhale, push the heel up towards the sky and find that stretch in the back of the left thigh. The heel is the thing that pushes up as the toes pull down. And as before, you can work with the same variations. You can try extending that right leg. Makes a big, big difference. So if you do it and regret it, there's no shame in changing your mind. Heaviness through the back of the left pelvis. Keep that glued down towards the mat. I often find it very useful when I'm doing stretches on my back to close my eyes. The body's natural reaction when you do that is to relax, obviously. So maybe doing these stretches with your eyes closed, see if you can sense a difference, perhaps a little bit more calm within your body. Great, take a last breath in. And then as you breathe out, letting go of that foot, curling both knees back in towards your body for another little squeeze. And then holding on to your knees, or I guess it's your shins, and widening your knees out towards the edges of your mat, keeping them nice and high up, so it's as if you're aiming your knees for your armpits. Your lower back stays glued down towards the floor. Don't allow your bum to start rising away from the mat. You can stay in this variation, keeping the knees wide so you can feel it more towards your inner thighs. Or you can take it into happy baby by the soles of the feet reaching to face the sky. Hands come to find the heels or the toes or the ankles. And you're using a little bit more strength here to then pull down against the feet, to keep those knees driving towards the armpits. And then refocus your attention to that lower back, the underside of your pelvis. Push it down towards the floor. Breathing here. Last couple of breaths. releasing those feet. Draw the knees back together, small little ball in front of your chest. From there, let your knees fall over to the right side, both of them to go to the same side of the mat. You can either pin the legs down with your hand, or you can just leave your right hand free. Your left arm reaches out in the opposite direction, the palm to face the sky, and you can turn your head towards that hand. But if you'd again like to keep your eyes closed as you allow the body to wind down here, then absolutely do so. Keep watching that breath in and out of the body, keeping your attention and your focus on the body and the breath. And then finally rolling back to the center and all the way over to the other side. Legs go to the left, arm goes to the right. Option to rest the left hand onto the legs to give them a little extra weight, and option to turn the head towards that right hand, maybe allowing your eyes to close so that your body can soften. And then roll yourself back onto your back. One last little squeeze of the legs in towards the body. Then let your feet come back onto the mat, keeping your feet together. The soles of the feet to face one another. Let your knees fall wide. Your arms can release alongside your body, or maybe resting them onto your inner thighs to give the legs a little extra weight if you wish, or just let gravity do it for you. The little toes to stay connected. The big toes can fall apart, and just allow your legs to feel as heavy as you can here. As you sit and watch the breath in and out of the body, see if you can find a little extra part of you to release and let go on your exhales. Maybe your hips are still accidentally and subconsciously holding on with a bit of a tension, a bit of a squeeze, making sure everything is letting go here. And finally, letting those legs step out loosely onto the mat, one at a time. Let the legs completely let go so the feet are likely to fall away from one another. Let the palms be facing the sky and the chest to stay feeling nice and broad as you just spend these last couple of moments where the body has nothing it needs to do but to breathe, to relax, to let go. And then reawakening with a nice deep breath in. Maybe taking a big stretch above the head as you point your toes. And then let your knees curl in towards your chest for a little squeeze, a little hug. And then softly and gently finding your way back to a comfortable seated position. From there, with your final breath in, let your arms circle wide and high to the sky. And with your final breath out, your hands come down towards your belly as your chin comes down to your chest.